coaching staff, players, and fans of Princeton. And to everyone, welcome to the 28th.
The season is on the brink for the SU lacrosse team. After being denied by Duke last weekend, the Orange are mired in their first losing streak in 6 seasons. And it doesn't get any easier today against the Princeton Tigers, who've clawed their way to 4 straight wins and are ready to sink their teeth into their reeling rivals. The Orange and the Tigers next. Easter weekend in Syracuse, and nobody making any plans for Memorial Day just yet, with the Orange in danger of falling out of the national title race. Today, a chance to get back on track against one of their oldest rivals, the Princeton Tigers, making their first trip to the Carrier Dome in 4 years. Hello again, everyone. Welcome inside the Dome. Great to have you here. Mark Larson alongside Dale Drypolcher. A huge game for the Orange after losing their last 2 games, first losing streak since 2007. John Desko making a change in goal. Freshman Bobby Wardwell gets the nod, Dale. What to tell you about John Desko's mindset?
Well, it may be that he's not pleased with his first 2 goalies, or maybe he just wants to shake things up. And in this case, it's the future is now. Wardwell, the future, the freshman. He's going to get his chances. Should be a big game for him.
All right, he will be tested against the Princeton offense that's scoring more than 11 goals per game. Let's take a look at some of the key players out there. It starts with Jeff Riccaro, a midi who's moved to attack this year, Dale. Second in points, second in ground balls.
Well, you know what? He's a very important cog in this machine. He made the jump, and he's really succeeded at it. He's a guy who got a lot of the assists, but he's also a guy who can put it in the hole.
Guy you really want to watch, where's number 22? Tommy Schreiber, Ivy League Rookie of the Year last year.
All-American candidate. He's really a terrific player. He's a guy they really depend on, and Syracuse Wardwell's going to have a lot of looks at number 22.
Now for the Orange, Tommy Palasek stepping it up, 12 points his last 3 outings.
Somebody's got to step it up, and Palasek's doing it. I'd like to see a little bit more out of the midfield, but Palasek and company have really kind of responded, helping out with in the attack.
And the coach's kid, Timmy Desko, at the attack. Team high 13 goals for Desko.
Desko's a guy, he can really do a lot of good things. He's a tough kid, he gets hit a lot, but you know what? He's one of the mainstays in there for the attack. They've been doing a lot of the scoring.
Orange trying to snap out of a little 2-game losing streak. They've won 7 of the last 9 in this series, but 0-4 against ranked teams this year. We'll be back.
Time Warner Cable Sports coverage of Syracuse University lacrosse is sponsored by Drivers Village. Visit driversvillage.com today. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Nice and Easy Grocery Shops.
Back inside the Carrier Dome. One of those days where you wish we had a retractable roof. As Princeton and Syracuse get together, 2 schools with a combined 17 national championships, meeting for the 23rd time in 20 years, head-to-head, here at the Dome for the first time since 2008. starting lineups brought to you by Geico. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. For Princeton, Tucker Shanley scored a goal in every game this year. John Cunningham, long stick midfielder, a two-time captain. And Chad Wiedmeyer, a real shutdown defender for the Orange. Jojo Marasco on a 16-game point streak. Derek Maltz, 13 goals, tied with Tim Desko for team high. And Brian McGill, a mid-season All-American by Inside Lacrosse, leading the Orange in caused turnovers. Goaltenders couldn't have more of a contrast here. For Princeton, the senior Tyler Fiorito, three-time All-American, made 15 saves against the Orange as a freshman in a Princeton victory. He is 4th in the nation in goals against this year and 9th in save percentage. His opponent, making his first Syracuse appearance, freshman Bobby Wardwell, out of the Albany area. Shenendehowa High School, the all-time saves leader there, a two-time high school All-American. And in the high school ranks, his career save percentage was 66%. But again, this is a whole nother level, and the freshman will be thrown into the fire here this afternoon. Head coaches, Chris Bates in his 3rd year at Princeton, 21-15, 0-2 against the Orange, 91 career wins. He spent 10 years as the head coach at Drexel. And his counterpart, John Desko, in his 14th year at his alma mater, 166-50, 13-5 against Princeton. He lost that 4 overtime game against the Tigers in his first season. He also won his first 2 NCAA titles against the Tigers in 2000 and 2002. Keys to the game, Dale, brought to you by Drivers Village. Visit driversvillage.com today.
Wardwell's got to play well against a very, very tough offense. I'm looking for more output from the midfield. Attack's doing most of the scoring. The midfield's got to do it and take good shots. Fiorito's a good goalie. They can't go high to high and expect to beat him. Princeton keep that suffocating defense. About 6 goals a game they give up? And that control Schreiber, Syracuse has got to control him, but they'd like to see number 22. Princeton like to see number 22 go crazy on a freshman goalie. So it's a nice matchup. Schreiber's an excellent athlete, an excellent lacrosse player. Those are the keys. But you know what? It all starts with the X, and Syracuse has suffered a little bit there. Let's see if they can get their share of faceoffs, because that'll go a long way to helping them win this lacrosse game.
Always one of the keys, of course, at the X, and the Orange had a little more success at the X against the Duke Blue Devils.
They did.
Down at MetLife Stadium last Sunday. They have struggled from there all year. This is Ricky Buer standing in. And a violation right off the bat gives the ball to the Tigers. So Princeton starts out with a first chance to put a shot on Bobby Wardwell. All-time series, this is the 28th meeting. Syracuse has won the last 2, including down in New Jersey last year. And they met 2 years in a row at the Big City Classic. Syracuse won the last one, 12-8. The Tigers come in on a 4-game winning streak. Their 2 losses this season as they come in at 6-2 by a total of 3 goals. So this team could easily be 8-0 right now. And they're also unbeaten on the road, Dale.
Just going to say Harris, number 44, looks like he's switched to long stick midfielder, and he is on Schreiber, and they've got Mullins.
First shot goes off the pipe, so Wardwell gets a little help right off the bat.
Just going to say they got Mullins, the defensive man, the guy who came out of Texas, started as a big stick midfielder, is now playing close D, so they've shifted around a little bit, and they've got Harris on Schreiber. Nice matchup there. Wardwell's going to need all the help he can get. He just got some help from the pipe.
And this is Schreiber out top, wearing that familiar 22 here in Syracuse, and another pipe. 2 shots, 2 pipes for the Tigers.
They're offside. It's going to be Syracuse ball.
And the Orange escape, and Bobby Wardwell didn't get a stick on either one, but boy, did he get some help. And the Orange whistling their first shot seconds into their possession. It goes off the mark, but backed up by Timmy Desko.
We're just talking about the total number of points. The attack has 58 points. The midfield, 27 points. The attack has really been carrying a lot of the load. That's all right, but you really need a little bit more balance because they'll load up on you on that attack. The midfielders struggle a little bit. Let's see if they can't put a little bit more in the terms of goals today.
And here's a guy they expect a lot out of, Hakeem Lecky. Just 3 goals so far as a redshirt freshman. We heard a lot about him. He was hurt in preseason camp last year and missed the entire year, redshirted. Has tremendous speed. And as far as I can tell, can shoot with both hands, but for whatever reason, has not been able to get the offense going. He can always get a step, and there it is. The shot off the mark, though. Off the body of one of the Tiger defenders, and Princeton quickly picks it up. And now Fiorito out of the cage to help with the clear. Tyler Fiorito, a little bit of a struggle early on in the season. Not his typical All-American self, but talking with Chris Bates earlier this week, he said last few games he's really picked it up. Had 16 saves in their win over Brown last time out.
Fazio in at the long stick midfielder. He had Schreiber, but they had to switch.
For Carl broke loose. Great catch in front, the score. Their first shot that didn't hit the pipe hits the net instead. It's Mike McDonald, freshman attack from Georgetown, Ontario, one of those Canadians, and that explains the great catch. How about this?
Yeah, I just scooped down low and brought it right back up left-handed, and he's got a real good look. Watch him scoop down. There he goes, brings that back, how quickly he got his hands up, and Wardwell not much of a chance to make that save. So McDonald comes up with the first one.
Yeah, McDonald could be the Tigers' 3rd consecutive Ivy League Rookie of the Year. 12 goals, 5 assists. Tied for 4th on the team in scoring coming in. Now Ricky Buer down on the field trying to scoop the ground ball off the faceoff. And it's Kevin Drew coming over. Defensive midfielder pick it up with all sorts of speed. And Dale, as much as that faceoff guy is a big part of it, you've talked about it a lot, it's the wings that come in, and Coach Desko's mentioned that too. We've had the ball out on the ground available, just haven't gotten over to pick it up.
Yep, they had D'Agostino in 25, and who's has sometimes faced off, but he was on the wing, so they're using some different combinations of guys to pick that ball up when it is free for the scooping. And Syracuse got this one. Of course, that was courtesy of number 19, Drew.
And now the second midfield in for the Orange, Matt Pratt, Luke Cometti, and Ryan Barber, a couple of West Genesee products in that midfield line. Desko from behind getting hammered by Chad Wiedmeyer, shutdown defender, and a 3-time first-team All-Ivy pick. Wiedmeyer forcing Desko to get rid of it. And you mentioned Desko gets hit a lot. Great story in the paper today is Cometti's first shot swallowed by Fiorito. If there's one guy that can put up with the abuse, it's probably Tim Desko.
Notice in that last shot, you got to stretch these goalies. He didn't really have to do much at all to make that save, and that's one of the problems they've had is not changing the plane of the shot. Coach Desko's talked about it. We've talked about it. You can't fake high and shoot high, and these goalies, especially a guy like Fiorito, you got to make him think and make him protect all 36 square feet.
And Fiorito kind of like Galloway was last year. I think everybody that plays Princeton feels like number 6 has been back there forever.
Yeah.
Big time goalie, and one of the reasons Princeton is in the hunt. It's Tucker Shanley, number 7, giving it up. Out top, Alex Capretta. Now back to Shanley. And Tucker a goal in every game for Princeton. They go behind. This is for Caro. McGill out for Caro. Forces him to give it up. Gets it back. Underhand shot. Goes wide right. Backed up behind by Mike Grossman.
McCartney in the long stick midfielder. He immediately picks up Schreiber. Out
top, Shanley checked, shoots and scores. They're going to the right side of that cage time and time again. This time Shanley goes low. And 5 shots, not yet seen Wardwell get a stick on one.
Just a good left-handed shot. He beats him on the offside, hip side high on a right-handed goalie. Real good placement. See him try to reach over. They can't get there in time. A really tough place to defend. So Shanley gets goal number 2. Frito, by the way, a left-handed goalie. Sometimes if you don't always play a left-hander, you don't take good shots. But Syracuse has been struggling with their shooting. Not so Princeton.
Not a good start for the Orange, who've lost 2 in a row for the first time since the losing season of 2007, and a quick timeout called by John Desko. Trying to settle his guys down, maybe settle his freshman goaltender down. Bobby Wardwell giving up 2 goals on 5 shots, and he's also had 2 shots hit the pipe.
If you saw that game last week when Syracuse played at Duke goalie, he struggled for a while and then came up with excellent saves in that last quarter, which really kept Duke in the game and actually led them to win that game.
We saw the look of concern on Coach Desko's face, and I was talking with him about, goaltending play and how you see, if a goaltender should come out or not. And it's not just making the saves, it's are they moving to the right spot or are they guessing?
Yep.
And it appears to me anyway that Bobby at least is moving with the shot toward that side of the net. So it doesn't look to me, the untrained eye, like he's guessing. But at the same time, he hasn't been able to get a stick on one yet.
Same thing happened with that Wigreiser at Duke. They struggled early, and then we take him out and left him in. No, get a fast break, unsettled.
Big ground ball pickup for Princeton. They give it right back. And now the ball picked out of the air by McDonald. So Orange had a chance to pick that ball up. Matt Harris had the first swipe at it off the faceoff, but couldn't get the ground ball, and the Tigers a chance to go up by 3. Princeton team that hit 11 goals at a high point last year, averaging 11 per game coming in. One of the top offenses in the country, and you pair that with the defense that's in the top 5, giving up under 7 per game. The Orange can't afford to fall too far behind here. Fade in front, open shot, missed the target. Fracaro was dancing on the crease, couple of fakes, and then just missed the cage.
McGill talking to his defenders, making sure that everybody knows who they've got. Looked like there might have been a little bit of confusion.
That's Dave Hamlin marking up. They give it up. Schreiber, quick move and a score. Oh, he's lightning quick. Looks like a Powell out there. And it's 3-0 Princeton. That change of direction, Dale, reminds me of Mikey Powell.
Yeah, that's the thing. You get everybody thinking one way, and he quick came back the other way. And Schreiber, just a real nice hard shot. Take a look at this.
And let's see if Bobby Wardwell is moving in that direction. Wardwell loses Harris and scores. It's 3-0 Tigers. Well, not what John Desko envisioned when he put his freshman Bobby Wardwell in the cage to start the game here against the Princeton Tigers. First appearance for Wardwell, and he's given up 3 goals on 7 shots, Dale, and 2 of those shots hit the pipe. Chris Bates' team roaring out of the gates. And not that they wouldn't have anyway, but they seem to sense some blood in the water here with Wardwell, the freshman, struggling there.
Well, you know, the first thing I'm sure when they look out there and said, one of the coaches said, who's number 4? That's not the guy we usually see in the goal. Oh, he's a true freshman. I'm sure that gives them a little bit more confidence.
This is a Princeton team laden with seniors and juniors. Tom Schreiber, their leading scorer, is a sophomore, but mentioned John Cunningham already, senior 2-time captain. Wiedmeyer, senior defensive stopper. Frickaro's a junior, Shanley's a junior. And again, Fiorito being a senior as well. So a veteran Princeton team. Had a couple of tough losses this year, but 3-0 on the road. And despite the fact this is all of these Princeton players' first trip to the Dome, not intimidated by this environment whatsoever.
Syracuse in a little zone look here defensively. Give a little protection to their new goalie. You see how tight they are in, and then they'll go out and play the ball hard, but they're sagging if they need to.
Tough pass from Schreiber, picked out of the air by Matt Harris off the deflection. So the Orange get the turnover.
Yeah, they need to settle down and get a goal. They need to get right back in this game. It's, you know, we talk about goals coming in bunches, and there's a lot of time left, but they have not generated a lot of offense. And Princeton's had the time of possession. We don't keep it, but boy, they've had it. And right now, Syracuse needs a goal, Mark.
Well, Dylan, they are not taking a lot of shots this year. 29 shots against Duke. That used to be a half for them.
Oh, yeah. Now they've got 3 shots, and they have not, as I said, they have not stretched Fiorito at all. And that's one of the problems, I think, during the years. They've played catch with the goalie, so to speak. You've really got to get those balls placed and make him, as I said, defend all 36 square feet. He's a left-handed goalie. I'm sure they know that, obviously. They went through the tapes or films. Now they're denying they're denying Marasco the ball.
JoJo spins, gets the ball anyway. Being watched by Nick Fernandez.
They got a short stick on Marasco. He'd like that. Palasek behind also.
Palasek out top, Desko. Feeds it low. Nice catch made. Schoonmaker out there. Now the feed in front. The quick stick goal by Maltz. Pretty play as Maltz broke to the alley. Palasek found him. And in one motion, Derek puts it past Fiorito.
Well, Palasek's a guy that can put it in the hole and give you the assist when he needs it, and he does a great job here. Just a quick stick. Maltz has been kind of quiet the last 3 games. He had 3 against Hopkins, not so much the last 3 games, 1-1. And right there, he gets him right back in it with a goal. Face-offs 3-1 as we go back to the X in favor of Princeton. Good for Maltz to get something going.
14th of the year now. Team high for Derek Maltz, the sophomore from Ashburn, Virginia. An EMO expert for Syracuse. Gets the even strength goal, and a big one, as you mentioned, as the Orange get on the board. And now Matt Harris scoops the ground ball. Another sophomore throws it back. Nobody there.
Now they got 10 seconds.
McGill.
They got to get it in.
Maltz reversing field and into the box. So the Orange get the face-off win and avoid the turnover momentarily.
We never touched it. We never touched it.
A whistle as the officials come together.
Guys, stop. Stop. I didn't have to step in. Right, white ball this way. Still white ball. White ball.
All right, so Syracuse will keep possession. Coach Desko can hold off on the argument.
When the ball went back behind midfield, they only had, you get 30 seconds, but when you pass it back behind midfield, you got 10 seconds to get it in the box.
And they got it in the box.
They got it in the box, and then I don't know what happened.
Ball came loose,
Yeah,
and then I think maybe they didn't know if they had possession of it.
Yeah. At any rate, they, to the satisfaction, Mr. Miller, the referee, told Princeton, be quiet, we'll figure this out.
appreciate the help. But
Thank you. Yeah, right.
Bobby Eiler's one of the co-captains out on the field. Big, strong midi, lefty shot way high over the crossbar. Backed up by Palasek with exactly 4 minutes left in the first quarter. The Orange gave up 3 straight. Dan Hardy among the attendees here.
Thought you were going to say it was in the game.
Yeah. Number 22.
Nice shot.
And a shot and a score by Maresco. Rings it into the upper 90. And the Cuse is answered with back-to-back goals.
That was a ringer. I mean, that really hit. You could hear it. He put it just inside the pipe. Stick side of the left-handed goalie. Look at that nice reverse. Look at the mustard he puts on that. Just a nice shot right from the, he's a hybrid. He'll play midfield and attack. He's coming from the attack. That jump shot left hand, and you see that the right post was being hugged by Fiorito, and he put it on the other post, and Marasco gets him up to within 1.
17 straight games with a point now for Jojo Marasco, and 25 out of 26 since the opener last year. And no better way to help your goaltender than to get a couple back. As the Tigers win the face-off, Schreiber, quick stick.
Save. In and out.
Looked like it may have gotten part of the post as well. Not sure about it. Either way.
He said Wardwell went in and out of the crease, had possession.
Now Schreiber, the big rocket from out top. And the Tigers have the backup. Well, Bobby may have gotten a piece of that. He looks like he's jumping around a little bit, feeling better about himself after giving up 3 goals on 7 shots.
Syracuse in that zone again. Give him a little different look.
Bobby's had a chance to see his team score a couple on Fiorito. Now big possession here for Princeton. Under 3 to go, first quarter. Big whack from Kevin Drew, comes up empty. Couple of fakes and a high bouncer by Shanley over the cage. Princeton all-time 2-5 here at the Carrier Dome. Both those wins by 1 goal. I mentioned the 4 OT game. Inside, and the score. Got past Wardwell. Looked like it popped up in the air, but over the head of Bobby Wardwell and in as Jeff Recaro makes it a 4-2 game.
Well, they got beat 1-on-1, and then Wardwell made the save, but the ball bounced. He couldn't stop the rebound. See if you can look right there. There's the move right there. He just beats Recaro, beats him. The ball up over his head. Doesn't quite bounce, then it just did right there at the end. You get another look at it. Ball, see, he made the save. He bounced up in there. You're supposed to ride it up over the cage. He didn't get it that far, and right now it's going to be 4-2. But you know what? Wardwell looks better. Recaro did a nice job there beating the defender, but Bobby made the save. Obviously, he didn't ride it up far enough.
Converted midfielder for Recaro. As the Orange get the face-off on the violation. Schoonmaker on the run. First player from the state of Oregon ever to play at Syracuse. Probably not the last, as that sport continues to grow out in the Northwest. As we have a big high school power from Mercer Island near Seattle come into Central New York every couple of years. Make a little Northeast tour. So we know they're playing out there. Not too far away from where the Gates were brought up, Vancouver Island.
Vancouver, yep.
Donahue trying to push his way inside and
keep the ball in.
Fernandez said, I don't think so.
Nick Fernandez is going to sit on the cross check. So that'll be a 1-minute man up. Watch right here. Okay, so far. Still not bad. Getting a little bad. No, that's really bad.
Yeah, and a couple times in the back.
Yep.
24 black, 1 minute cross check.
1 minute cross check on Nick Fernandez. Chris Bates letting him have it.
I hope it wasn't about that particular call, because there was no doubt about that.
So the Orange not prolific on the extra man. Just 10 man-up goals all season. Could really use one here.
Donahue open for a minute.
1 of 5 against Duke last Sunday. It was a rocket shot from outside by Desko. Inside, great catch by Donahue. He feeds back. Palasek save made Fiorito. Orange get the rebound though. Eilers to the crease and he overshot Donahue. 18 seconds left in the man advantage. Tigers have it. So Syracuse just 27% on the EMO. They get the turnover though. Final seconds of it. Desko rocket and Fiorito went with him. Tyler Fiorito, 37 saves in 3 games against the Orange in his career, including the 15 save effort in the victory as a freshman. And that was a big stop there for Princeton. Final 30 seconds of the first.
He brought that head down. You saw the head of his stick, and when it was a riser, but Fiorito had good vision and saw it all the way.
There's a shot taken outside by Shanley on the run. 15 seconds left in the first. Forrest Sonnenfeld in there as Wardwell makes his first official save as he swallows it up as the quarter comes to an end. Well, a rough start, but a nice finish for the freshman in his first Orange appearance. Syracuse trails after 1 quarter, 4-2. But they've scored 2 of the last 3 goals, and Bobby's got himself a save. And we'll head to the second quarter after this. Pretty rough stretch for the Syracuse lacrosse team. Princeton today, Cornell coming up on the road Tuesday night. You can see it live right here on Time Warner Cable Sports as the Orange and Big Red get together in Ithaca. It's a 7 o'clock face-off coming up on Tuesday. We talk about a rough stretch, but then again, Syracuse is used to a schedule like this. They play all the top teams, and they look at it as opportunities to get themselves going again. 4-4 on the season after losing their last 2. And a big face-off win for Ricky Buer. Tough clearing pass on the hop. Hamlin can't pick it up. And the Tigers have it. Hacked out of the stick of Cunningham. And a flag down on the field, far side. Whistles bring it to a stop, and let's see.
It looks like they're going to Kevin Drew.
Slash on Drew. 1 minute. So the Orange will go down a man for the first time this afternoon.
1 minute slash.
And if you thought the EMO was an inefficient unit, the man down defense for Syracuse has given up 20 man-up goals. That's twice as many extra man goals as the Orange have scored. Just 54% the man down defense. So the opposition scoring about half the time. Now on the bright side, Princeton's EMO only 8 of 32 this year. 8 goals in 8 games. Extra man.
You can see him bringing the ball around, Mark. They'll try to get you, make that defense rotate, and then either do a skip pass or get a cutter, bring it back the other way, and try to get somebody clearly open. That's what the Syracuse sticks in the passing lanes and the shooting lanes.
Big shot out top, taken by Sonnenfeld.
He's a big dude. 6'6", 250.
He's their guy to watch. He's got 4 of their 8 extra man goals. Number 2 on the far side of the field. This one swallowed up. Shanley right into the stick of Wardwell. And Bobby has regained his footing after a shaky start. Save at the end of the first quarter, and now one here early in the second.
Here's where you're going to struggle a little bit. Now they got the ball over and they get it to 30 seconds, but when you got a new goalie, place to go after him, not only shoot at him, but really hassle him, I should say, on the ride. Syracuse able to get that time, and Wardwell only had to make 1 pass, but you get somebody who's not used to game situations clearing.
Joe Fazio out, Billy Ward in. He's got a half step. Ward out of nearby Baldwinsville, hands to Barber. And plenty of homegrown talent out there right now with Desco, Barber, and Cometti, all out of West Genesee High School, along with Billy Ward. .58 sophomore. Ward very quick behind the cage. Tries to draw the slide, did not. Out top. Desco hits the turf. We're going to call a push against Princeton. Timmy Desco, we've already talked about it a couple times. Takes a lot of contact. Drew the whistle there.
That was good because it was a poor pass.
Barber trying to get inside. The Orange just 8 shots to 14 for the Tigers. Oh, now Ward gets knocked down. Flag comes out. And the Orange will go a man up for the second time. So Billy got the job done.
Well, he's going to get whacked right around the neck. Then he goes down, then he hits him when he's on the ground.
So Nick Fernandez again. Very aggressive.
Nick, that's your second personal, son. If we're counting, you get 3 more and you're out.
Another 1 minute extra man opportunity for the Orange, 0 for 1.
They had a couple of good shots off that, though,
yeah,
Mark.
They did.
You know, which is, hey, that's an improvement.
We're at about 25% or so for the season. Syracuse is not forcing it. I'll give him that. In front, and Fioretto takes it away.
Looked like Donahue got pushed into the crease illegally, but that's what Coach Desco, I think, is mentioning. So,
mentioning
just in passing.
That's right. By the way,
yes.
Might
for
have
future
missed
reference. For future reference. Ooh, nice check.
Cunningham lost the ball. Bobby Eilers knocked it out of the stick. And they're going to give this one to Syracuse.
Now that's hustle. That's what Syracuse is really needed. They have been, in this game, you really got to hustle. And they get the ball down, and Eiler's just smacking the heck out of his opponent there and doing a good job of staying in bounds, and Desko out there helping. So Syracuse gets the ball back.
And that's getting it away from a two-time captain, John Cunningham. So Syracuse 0 for 2 on the extra man opportunity. Now even strength. Going to cut into that Princeton lead. Tigers scored the first 3 goals of this one. Orange answered with 2, and now Princeton scoring to make it 4-2 before the end of the first quarter. Here's Desko on Wiedmeyer. Nothing doing. Eiler's swim move, got free, shoots, and Fioretto makes the save. Ball bouncing out in front, picked up quickly by the Tigers. Eiler's trying to do it all himself, just about broke in, left-handed. Just the 9th shot of the game, though, for Syracuse as Cunningham lost the ball again. Picked up by Harris as JoJo Marasco harassed him into the turnover.
That's the hustle we talked about. You've got to do it on all sides of the field, offensively, defensively. They gotten the ball back. Now they're doing a nice job of motion, a lot of off-ball movement. But I'll tell you what, Princeton stuck right with them. The defensive midfielders are really not giving Syracuse much to get a shot at or look at to take a good shot.
So the Tigers matching their goal output in turnovers. The Orange forcing them. And now the second midfield, or at least Luke Cometti on. Trying to pop that third Orange goal.
You see a lot of the guys from Syracuse, they're moving off ball, they're stacking up now out on the crease. But defenders from Princeton, very tough to shake.
Syracuse averaging just under 10 goals per game. In fact, coming in, they had 78 goals for and 78 against. Desko, inside roll, backhander. Fioretto made the save. Tyler was ready, and you know he's seen Tim Desko go between his legs without looking for the score. So you know he knows whenever 21's got the ball, it could come from anywhere.
Yeah, be on your toes. Now Syracuse last 2 rides have been able to get the ball back.
It's been Cunningham coughing it up. Now he gives it up quickly to Chris White. And Chris Bates wants time. 8:27 left, second quarter. Neither team has scored in this period. The Tigers will talk things over with that 2-goal lead. All right, look at Princeton in their 3rd year under Chris Batesdale, and how much different are they from when the old man Bill Tierney was leading the charge?
A man that we'll probably see out in Denver here one of these days, we hope, if they make it to the ECAC finals. But it's a different kind of a team, same suffocating defense, but really turn them loose offensively, and that's, you know, Coach Tierney played a little bit closer to the vest in that respect, but they have really blossomed under Coach Bates.
Now, talking to Chris about, you know, if the Bill Tierney influence is still present there, and he never coached under Bill, but of course knows of him, and he says the shadow does loom over that Princeton program. And you know, part of it's a good thing, though. When you create a standard of success like Tierney did at Princeton, then there's a sense of responsibility by all the other teams that come after to live up to that. And last year, this team suffered through a 4-8 season, so there was a lot of motivation to kind of get Princeton back to where they feel it belongs, and that's in the race for the national championship.
Well, you know, when they refer to the defensive evolution as the Bill Tierney defense, you know you've arrived.
Lost 16 players to injury last year, 6 for 10 or more games, so a real tough season for the Tigers, but they have bounced back big time here in 2012. Again, 4 straight wins coming in at 6-2, number 11 in the country. And now the Orange trying to get their offense going. And Syracuse has not been a strong second half team either. More cause for concern as the Tigers try and tack on another here. Couple of picks for Schreiber. McGill on Schreiber. Trying to hold him down a bit. Great job there by Ianzito. Short stick defensive midfielder. Breaking inside, the save made by Wardwell. Rebound picked up briefly, but then knocked out of the stick of Jeff Recaro, and the Orange have it. So Chris Bates' plan does not come to fruition, and the Orange have it on another turnover. Princeton's 11th shot, 8 of them on goal. 2 hitting the pipe. Kevin Drew missed high. Desko with the backup for Syracuse with exactly half of the second quarter remaining. He has 10 shots on the board, though, for the Orange, a quarter and a half in, Dale. That's well below what we've seen in the past. They are being patient.
Yeah, but
too patient.
Yeah, well, you know, like that last shot. I mean, I guess it was a shot on goal, but there was no chance that Fierito even had to make a play on it. They really need some more quality shots on goal.
Like you were saying, the speed sometimes just doesn't matter. It's placement.
Yeah.
Now Marasco couldn't quite get the stick over to the right hand. Had to pass on the shot. Derek Robbie staying right with him.
You see the movement off ball of all the SU people, but I'm telling you that I can see why Princeton's defense is so good. They really, in man-to-man, they really keep everybody in check. They don't get caught ball watching. Nobody gets to see a back cut.
Tyler's looking for a pick from Desko. Tries to back his way in. Bobby's got the size to do that. A nice job by Fernandez. It's got to be one of the Tigers' more physical defenders. Lecky draws the double. Marasco feeds the crease. Shot is score! Tommy Palasek pushed into the crease after the goal. The Orange have crawled back to within 1. It's 6:07 remaining here in the half.
I was just telling you how good the defense is. You have to be patient when that happens, and you got to wait. But when somebody gets open, you got to hit that person. And you see Marasco sees them as they lost. Palasek and Marasco didn't. Nice job of getting that ball loose. You see there was nobody in front of him. Nobody could get on a stick. All they could do is push him from behind. So Palasek got himself open. That's why you have to be patient. And when it's there, though, you've got to be able to hit it. And kudos to number 22, Marasco, for making the pass.
So Tommy Palasek now with 11 and 11 goals and assists this season, and the Orange are back within a goal. Timeout, 6:07 left in the half. 6:07 left in the first half. Orange have trailed throughout, but now within a goal of the Princeton Tigers after Tommy Palasek put it home on the crease. And now a big face-off here at the X. Face-offs are even, 4 apiece in the half. Ricky Buer standing in for Syracuse. And I think Coach Desko would probably take 50%, as they've been under that mark for most of this season. Right into the stick of Matt Harris, almost like a Hoover vacuum. a la Joel White.
Yeah, I'm just going to say they miss him, but Harris has been picking it up the last couple of games. He's done a great job of helping get that faceoff.
Now the speedy Kevin Drew holds off and waits for the offense to get on the field. Buer leaves, and he'll be replaced by Luke Cometti. And now Colin Donahue going to replace Kevin Drew as the Orange look for the tie. Fell behind 3-0. They've scored 3 the last 4. Boy, count the West Genesee products out there. You've got 4 of them. Donahue, Desco, Cometti, and Barber.
Doesn't surprise me.
Well, you know, the coach is also a West Genesee grad, so kids know how to play. In front.
Nice look.
Maltz going underhand and threw it wide left. Palasek with a backup, just under 5 to go in the first half.
Nice look by Colin Donahue to feed that, number 17. Slowly getting more and more playing time as the season progresses. Had a nice chance against Duke. There's a shot. Very good
Fiorito, kick save by Tyler. Cometti thought he had the equalizer. And those are the saves you expect out of your senior 3-time All-American, 2-time All-Ivy. Shots are about even.
You know, you're right, Mark, though. Those are if you're a really good goalie, you're going to make some of those shots. They call it like standing on your head. A shot is just too good, and you still save it.
Well, look at this. Princeton, another turnover. Chris Bates, hands in the air like, what?
Yeah.
You take away the turnovers, and Orange are having a hard time getting back in this game, so they have certainly aided the cause of Syracuse. Look at that, 6-1. And I know you don't want as many turnovers as goals. You certainly don't want more. Quick passing, Ryan Barber.
That was Harris again. Did a nice job of getting that ball out and getting it to Barber as they were on him.
Barber makes a move and takes a look. A couple of goals in the opener for Ryan. He's been pretty quiet offensively since then. Playing on that second midfield line as the #1 unit takes its place out there.
You know, I'd have to say there really isn't a lot of difference between the first and the second midfield, certainly in terms of production.
Palasek. Picked behind by Desco. Can't get free. Now Desco against Wiedmeyer. Marasco working on Cunningham, the long stick midfielder. Took a glance with the right hand, but thought the better of it. Schoonmaker will try his luck, switches hands, shoots. Fiorito the save. Those outside shots, Fiorito will give you that all day. Now Eilers in pursuit. 8 saves in the first half for Tyler Fiorito, who averaged almost more than 12 saves per game against Syracuse in his career coming in. Fernandez on the offensive end scores. Nick Fernandez, defensive midfielder out of New York, New York. And the Tigers have their 2-goal lead with 2:13 left.
Well, they had a short stick behind. Marasco's playing defense right there. He gets beat, and they don't get on his stick. He just wheels from the back. Watch, right there. He had the short stick on him behind, and nobody could get on his stick, and he got his hands clear, and Wardwell took that one up high.
His 5th shot of the season, Dale, in game number 9, and his first goal, his first points. Fernandez, who's spent a little time in the penalty box today, now has a goal to his credit. And Buer had the face-off but didn't pick it up.
Yeah, they're just going to say, here's where they have suffered. They've gotten to control the ball, but they lose it.
Derek Robbie the clear on the far side, and Princeton now under 2 to go. protecting that 2-goal lead. Robbie chased, and it's checked loose. What a check by Drew. A Houdini move with the stick. Drew feeds, Desko feeds, far side, Palasek couldn't bring it in. And the Orange second turnover cost them a chance to get back within 1.
You know, when you get Fiorito in a situation where it's an unsettled situation, that's the best place to have him, obviously. When they're running a settled defense and he's able to call things out, he's really, really tough. You got to get him when he's by himself and backing up and a fast break is coming his way, and not able to do it as they turn the ball over.
And you know, the Orange are just itching to get out and run. Tigers not giving them any opportunities, and they had one there and turned it over. So with 1:38 left in the half, timeout called by Chris Bates. And the Orange are not only fighting a red-hot team, but also a team on an emotional mission this year. Chris Bates' wife, Ann Bates, passed away last November 30th, battling cancer for the 3rd time and finally losing that battle at the age of 43. And all the players remembering her with patches on the jersey. Also a remembrance hanging in their locker room. And there's young Nick Bates, 10 years old. And the entire team has adopted Nick as one of their brothers. Really helped him through this difficult time. Coach Bates says the season is providing a much needed distraction for he and his son. And certainly great to have a lot of support and a real family type atmosphere. You can't imagine what those two are going through.
No, that's something nobody should have to go through. But as he said, you know, it's nice to have something that you can get involved in and keep your mind going. It's nice that his son is able to come and relate to the guys on the team and have something to think about.
Yep. Chad Wiedmeyer, John Cunningham really leading that charge to support Nick and their coach through this very, very difficult time. Tyler Fiorito, you can see the patch there on his left shoulder, has been a stalwart in the first half, as you'd expect out of the All-American. You break through that difficult defense, Dale, and you've got Fiorito to contend with.
I think Syracuse has taken much better shots than they have up until this point. They've had some good ones against Duke, but they're taking good shots, and Fiorito's just been able to stop them. And also their defensive midfielders really not giving Syracuse midfielders much of a look, or the defense giving the attack much of a look.
Wiedmeyer crosses the line. He's charging to the net, shoots, and it's save made by Wardwell. So the shot gives the Orange back possession, and now Ianzito on the run. Feeds low, Desko jump shot, and he shot it wide as he was checked at release, but with 1:04 left, Syracuse has the backup.
That's what you want to see. You want to see your goalie running backwards, and you want to see somebody open on the wing. Nice last minute check, and ball went high, but Syracuse retains possession. They would like to get one more here with 55 seconds left.
Billy Ward coming back on the field for the Orange, and a timeout taken by John Desko with 46 seconds left in the half.
Good timeout.
Well, what do you think about the shot by Wiedmeyer? I mean, I know you're thinking, hey, another goal here would really not bury him, but be a real dagger. But now you give Syracuse a chance to get back within 1.
I'm sure he wasn't thinking that. He was thinking, I'm going to score this and I'll be a hero. But Wardwell made the save. And you know what was impressive there? It's his outlet. That ball was down, saved, and out. And that's a mark of a good goalie. And he's only a freshman. But you're going to see Wiedmeyer's shot down, saved, right back out. And just like that, Syracuse had a break. So the freshman goalie, I think, getting a lot of experience. Struggled a little bit early. He's made some nice saves, had a nice outlet there. You know, he's a true freshman. It's not like he played last year and redshirted. He is a true freshman.
Yeah, last year he's facing, you know, I don't know, CBA Albany or whoever, and this year it's the Princeton Tigers.
Yeah.
Coming up at halftime, Orange player profile. We'll get to know junior co-captain Brian McGill a bit better. And interesting to hear Brian talk about where he almost ended up playing his college lacrosse. First half highlights and stats as well. That's all coming up at the half.
he's done a nice job of creating turnovers, which is a statistic that they keep now. And he has done a nice job of creating turnovers. You know, I've mentioned a couple times, Harris has had a nice game today defensively, coming off the wing, helping with the faceoffs. He's gotten some balls and caused some turnovers. So Harris, number 44, also having a nice game for Syracuse.
Now McGill wore the number 10 for his first 2 seasons here, but now that Joel White has given up 11, McGill snapped up that jersey, leading the team with 19 caused turnovers coming in and 96 ground balls for his career. He started every game here for the Orange, 41st straight start here this afternoon. And now with 46 seconds left, see what Coach Desko drew up. Second midfield line with Cometti and Barber along with Schoonmaker. Maltz, Palasek, and Desko at attack.
Not giving them much room to work. They're coming right out on him, right at the box.
That's Fernandez on Cometti.
He wants a pick.
Cometti played 2 years at Albany before coming back home to Syracuse. Behind Desko, 15 seconds left. Barber, a little sidewinder shot. And missed the target. Palasek, the backup, with 12 ticks left on the clock. Palasek charges, gets inside, shoots and scores! 7 seconds left and a flag down after the goal by Palasek. His second of the quarter, and the Orange are back within 1. That was all Palasek there off the restart.
That was all first step. You're absolutely right, Mark. This is right here. He has beaten Myers, and he scores right there. But you can see it's the first step. He's got him chasing him that close, then he bodies him out and does a real good job of getting his stick free, putting his butt back in, keeping himself clear and pushing the defender off. Tommy Palasek makes it 5-4. Nice job of working inside after the quick first step. Got him the jump on Myers.
And they pick up the flag as he ended up in the crease but was pushed in. And as the final seconds expire here in the first half, the Orange are still trailing but feeling better about it, trailing now by 1. Palasek 2 goals in the quarter. And the Orange will head to the locker room, still needing a comeback in the second half, but not as far to climb. A tight one at the Carrier Dome. Syracuse has lost its last 2 by 3 total goals. They're trailing by 1 here, halfway home with Princeton. And co-captain Brian McGill. We're at the intermission between the Syracuse Orange and the Princeton Tigers in their 28th meeting this afternoon. In this week's Orange player profile, Samantha Berdinka introduces us to junior defenseman and co-captain Brian McGill.
At the start of this year, Brian McGill noticed something different about his Syracuse lacrosse team.
I mean, I saw it in the fall coming in September. Kids were going 110%. Every spot was open. We really had no returners coming back except myself, some of the attackmen, 1 or 2 middies, and everything else was just wide open. So everyone was going out 110%, hitting people, laying bodies, trash talking. I was like, oh my God, this is practice. This is how practice should be all the time.
Is that more fun?
Oh, yeah, of course.
McGill knows that opponents don't care who Syracuse has lost to graduation or what players have now taken their place on the field. Opponents will always come to play against the name on the front of the orange jerseys.
They're always going to come in, put a bullseye on our chest, and give us everything they got. Because when you beat Syracuse, it goes a long way. I mean, 11 national championships, all the All-Americans, all the accolades that come out of Syracuse, and to go through college and say, yeah, I got a chance to play against that guy, and we beat them. Some people that's a championship in their own. So we're always getting their best game.
McGill was voted preseason Big East Co-Defensive Player of the Year. He started every game since he stepped on campus, and despite only being a junior, he was voted a captain this year.
It meant a lot. I mean, being a captain of a prestigious program like Syracuse, try and take the right steps, doing the right things on and off the field to try and show these guys, especially the younger guys, some guidance. And it's a real honor, and I'm really taking it to heart.
With the departure of an all-everything goalkeeper and a defensive rotation that's not quite set yet, McGill sees his role on this team as being the glue that binds the defense together to keep the opponents out of the pipes.
I think it's just being more of a vocal leader and trying to keep the chemistry together.
McGill leads by example with his behavior off the field as well. He's studying to be an accountant at the Whitman School of Business.
My main goal is to stay on top of my work, go to all my classes, come out and practice, and when I'm out at practice I forget about everything and I just play my game, and I try and do the right things off the field.
While he seems a natural leader, McGill has never been one to follow. His older brother Ray was a standout defenseman at Maryland. Brian chose to wear orange in part to ensure that his journey was his own.
My brother was at Maryland, and everyone's like, my whole life was like, you know, you'll follow in his footsteps, go to Maryland, go to Maryland. I was like, you know what? I don't want to follow in his footsteps. I want to make my own footsteps. I want to make my own path. So that's one of the main reasons why I came to Syracuse.
Whatever the direction, it seems certain that Brian McGill's path will lead him to success. For Time Warner Cable Sports, I'm Samantha Berdinka.
And you can go all access with Brian McGill and the Orange every week. Join us Thursday night at 7 o'clock for Syracuse Sidelines with head coach John Desko. All you need to know straight from the coach, Syracuse Sidelines, Thursdays at 7 o'clock on Time Warner Cable Sports. First half highlights and statistics when we come back to the Carrier Dome.
Time Warner Cable Sports coverage of Syracuse University lacrosse is sponsored by Haler, Fryer & Kuhn, Think Insurance, by FX Cabrera Chevrolet Buick in Pulaski. Visit fxchevy.com. And by the UPS stores of Central New York. With 12 locations throughout Central New York, there's a UPS store near your neighborhood.
Back at the Carrier Dome, the Orange trailing 5-4 to Princeton here at the half. Welcome back, everyone. Mark Larson, Dale Drypolcher. Dale, it could have been worse. Syracuse didn't have it with 2 minutes left, and they got the goal there at the end.
I agree, and they're doing much better offensively. I like Wardwell in the goal. I think his reaction times are quick. They got a second half to come out. It's going to be exciting.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first half. Not a lot of scoring, as you could see there. Princeton scored 4 of its 5 goals in the first quarter, including the first 3 of the game. Hit a couple of pipes off the start, and it looked like the Orange were in trouble.
Well, you know, it took Wardwell. I think he got a little nervous. And then at one point they switched to his zone defense to kind of help him out a little bit. I think settle him down, and he did much better after that. And then Syracuse chimed in with some scoring of their own.
Derek Maltz on the quick stick there from Tommy Palasek. But JoJo Marasco rings it into the top corner for a 3-2 game there. Princeton's lead cut to 1. Tigers get one back, though, before the quarter, as Fricaro goes high, or Fernandez rather. That made it 5-3 in the second. 7 seconds to go in the half. Tommy Palasek is second of the second quarter. Look at the halftime numbers, Dale. A lot of turnovers for Princeton, keeping the Orange in it.
Well, you know what? You've got to take those and go with them, and that's what Syracuse, I think, has done. The face-offs, which have been a problem, look pretty even. So let's see if Wardwell can't find himself. He's got the jitters out, and Fiorito, we know he does a great job for Princeton. So I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
I think you're right. It was 7-5 Syracuse last year down in New Jersey. I think we're looking at single digits again to win this one. Crowd here waiting to see if the Orange can avoid a 3rd straight loss and stop Princeton's streak. Inside the Carrier Dome, the Orange trying to come back and beat the Tigers here, down 5-4 at halftime. This is the second half of a women's-men's doubleheader. Earlier this afternoon, the SU women took on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Had Syracuse a 1-goal lead at halftime, but Alyssa Murray, the sophomore, scored 5 of her 6 goals in the second half as Syracuse pulled away. Murray with 33 goals on the season now. Orange had a 7-goal lead. In the end, it turns out to be a 5-goal win. 15-10 the final as Syracuse wins its 7th straight game to move to 8-2 on the season. The second-ranked team in the country, getting 6 goals from Alyssa Murray and a hat trick from Michelle Tumalo. Orange win their second game in 3 days, and they've got a short rest with another top 10 team coming into the Carrier Dome Monday. The Orange will host the Big Green of Dartmouth and try to stretch their winning streak to 8. Once again, the SU men's team in a bit of trouble, but coming back on the Tigers, down by 1 as we head to the final 30 minutes. Come on back. Orange down 5-4 as we get set for the third quarter here at the Carrier Dome. Second to last home game of the season already for Syracuse. Not a lot of home games on the schedule. Only other one after this, the 21st against the Georgetown Hoyas. Syracuse a quick turnaround. They'll face Cornell in Ithaca Tuesday night. You can see that game on Time Warner Cable Sports. And then they'll take on Rutgers on the 14th, a week from today, down in Charlotte, North Carolina, the ESPNU Warrior Classic. Then we get to go out to Hobart a week from Tuesday, another game you can see right here. That's on the 17th. And then home with Georgetown and the Big East race. Orange in third as we look at it, already having lost to Villanova. Syracuse will play at Notre Dame on the 28th.
That's a big game.
Yeah, and then the Big East tournament down at Villanova, and Syracuse might have to win a tournament they for so long resisted just to get into the NCAAs. But time will tell. That's the opening face-off of the third quarter. Hotly contested, still up for grabs. Harris a shot at it.
You got it.
And another shot. He flings it. Finally, Kevin Drew with the ground ball. And 20 seconds in to the second half. Finally able to corral the face-off and put the shot wide of the net, but Timmy Desco, the backup, and the Orange a chance to tie it up.
That said again, anytime you get a guy like Fiorito moving backwards and you got numbers, it's not a bad time to take a shot. It's a lot easier, I think, to score on them than when they got a settled defense, because their defense and their defensive middies and their tight defense really do a nice job of protecting Fiorito. And then when you do get a shot, he saves it more often than not.
And this is where I think that goal at the end of the first half becomes so important, because now you score here and suddenly you're tied early in the half. You've got the momentum. You had it going to the locker room. You keep it. Conversely, if Princeton can get a stop and score one of their own, they take that all away. So Big minutes here as Marasco broke out top. I think he got some pipe. Fiorito may have gotten a piece as well. JoJo couldn't bury it. And now Fiorito in trouble behind. Maltz giving him all sorts of trouble.
That's a good ride by Maltz.
They get it to Cunningham. Princeton with 7 turnovers in that first half. And a collision as the pass out to midfield. Eilers colliding with Schreiber and forcing another turnover.
That's what the ride does.
Now Desco thinks about it, shoots. Jump shot, Fiorito makes the save. And so Princeton in the first half, 6 of 9 in the clear. They failed on their first attempt here, now get it. Inside shot, big save, Wardwell. Much better start to the second half than the first for the freshman.
Harris again with a ground ball. He's just having a terrific game for Syracuse.
He's got 5 ground balls now, 1 off his career high. And the Orange, a big save from their freshman goalie. Get the ball right back.
That was a big save because that was one where they had him running backwards and they had numbers, and Wardwell made a great save and got the ball out.
There's Colin Donahue, another transfer who started his career at Rutgers before coming back home to play for his pops, among others, Kevin Donahue on the Orange sideline.
Remember his father playing catch with him on the sideline when he was a little kid.
And Colin's younger brother, Dylan, also a member of this Orange roster. Donahue's and the Descos go way back.
Trying to set a pick back there. They don't get it.
Palasek rolls inside and shoots it wide. Desco with a backup. Palasek 2 goals in that second quarter, including one with 7 seconds remaining in the half to pull the Orange within 1. 14 points now in his last 3.5 games for Palasek. Make it 15. He also had an assist in that first half. There's Donahue on the switch. Fernandez on him. Donahue running off the far post. Give Fiorito a save, or at least PA did. Now push against Princeton. The Orange will get it back. Chad Wiedmeyer, senior class finalist. Guy who spent 4 weeks last summer in Uganda. In front, score! Donahue from Committee. West Genesee to West Genesee, and we're tied at 5. And the first goal of the season for Colin Donahue. What a big one.
It's so West Genesee-ish, which is, we always got somebody open in the crease. You see they slid over to Cometti, and when they slid, Cometti read the slide, dumped it off to Donahue. Donahue dumped it into the back of the goal, and Colin Donahue up with his first goal on the season.
First assist for Luke Cometti and the first goal for Colin Donahue. They played together at West Genesee High School. And Cometti, who had 3 goals last year in his first season with the Orange, has his first of 2012. The Orange have tied it up after falling in a 3-0 hole out of the gate. And now the Tigers, off the violation, with a chance to retake the lead.
It looked like D'Agostino came across on the wing. I don't know, that's what it looked like to me. It makes no difference. It was still a violation, and the ball in Syracuse's defensive end.
Orange with a big advantage in shots and in possession here in the second half. Got the tying goal. And now trying for another stop, and it's snared out of the air. What a grab by Ralph D'Agostino, the freshman, and now Wardwell out to help with the clear. Gets it to Kevin Drew, good idea.
So I think Wardwell's getting the butterflies out. Nice job coming out of the goal.
And how about D'Agostino?
Yeah.
5'8" freshman defenseman from Tewksbury, New Jersey. And you better believe playing Princeton's a big deal for him.
Well, you know, they've used him on faceoffs before. They get a jump out of the substitution area.
Eilers to Maltz. And they back it back out top. Syracuse looking for its first lead of the afternoon.
Trying to get Schoonmaker in.
Marasco off the pick, took a look inside. Draws the double, backhanded pass up for grabs and picked up by the Tigers' Chris White. This is where Princeton has had some trouble though today, the clear.
There's a nice hit there by Eilers.
They get it across midfield. Marasco tries to get into Mike Grossman, but a fan down the check. So the Tigers get a stop as JoJo turned it over. Drew the double team, but then his backhanded flip on the ground and up for grabs. Shanley being watched by Fazio, got his stick up.
Oh, there's an old-fashioned over the head check.
How about the check and the strip by Fazio, another West Jenny guy. Here's big shot, Fiorito, the kick save. And now trying to smother the ball, and he does back into his crease.
Now they're putting a lot of pressure on him. They're putting good pressure on him.
And look at Tyler limping after that foot save there. It's got to hurt. I mean, that ball's coming fast, and it's solid rubber. Now Fiorito bent over.
You know, it started from that over-the-head check. Old-fashioned, old-school check by Fazio. Big stick midfielder, and there's going to be another turnover. Syracuse is going to get the ball back.
You know, for Ivy Leaguers, they're doing some of this by themselves. Unforced error there.
Nice split.
Schoonmaker splits through the defenders as Fraccaro lost his stick. Now Ianzito taking a look at the net.
11-3 turnover, 6 in the second half there for Princeton.
And suddenly Syracuse with a big advantage in shots after they had been trailing in that category most of the first half. They have dominated possession here in the second. And every time Princeton gets it, it seems they turn it back over.
And you can tell Syracuse has been working on taking better shots, shot selection. And Fiorito, the left-handed goalie, has given them fits. They've gotten good shots. He's made good saves. Pick.
Illegal pick called against Palasek. Gives the ball back to the Tigers. Let's see how long they hang on to it.
I'll give Syracuse a lot of credit on the ride. They're doing a nice job on the ride.
Desco and Maltz double teaming on Will Himmler. Gives it up quickly. And out John, nope. Sweedmeyer gets it across midfield. The Tigers having a heck of a time just setting up the offense, getting a shot. They have one shot here in the second half, and Wardwell made the save.
A lot of subbing going on, trying to get a jump.
Sonnenfeld.
Drew just smacking him. Anytime that handle shows he was putting his stick on it, they are playing pretty inspired individual defense and team defense, but they are not giving up much.
Well, this is a defense that's giving up almost 10 goals per game, and think about what they've done the last 3 years, being among the top 5 in the nation. You know, giving up just under 7.
That's what the people are applauding for.
Schreiber gets free and scores. Tommy Schreiber, just like that, breaks free and goes upper 90. His second of the afternoon, puts the Tigers back on top.
We told you how tough he is, and he just cuts right across the formation and uncorks while he's moving. Good left-handed high shot, and gives them a 1-goal lead.
19th goal of the season for Tommy Schreiber. Lost Brian McGill and puts Princeton back in front. Orange lacrosse team trying to make a run at the postseason, and so are the Syracuse Crunch, and you can see them live the Friday the 13th, 7:30 face-off from Rochester right here on Time Warner Cable Sports. Tommy Schreiber, sophomore midi, East Meadow, New York. Rookie of the year in the Ivy League last year. You can see the speed and the shot on the run lefty going against the grain.
And you know, when you're that close, you get that much zip on the ball. Very difficult to track down.
His coach said he wants to be great. He's got that star mentality. His father, Doug, won an NCAA championship at Maryland and is in the U.S. Lacrosse Hall of Fame, so he's got some bloodlines too. Battle at the X has been vicious.
It's been a war
all game. Harris swiping at it. Finally picked up by Derek Robbie. Charging to the net. Bad idea. Stripped by the Orange. Dave Hamlin picks it up and gets it to Wardwell. Pass to midfield right on the dime to Brian McGill.
Two long sticks over there. I don't know how long they're going to stay.
Well, McGill, the co-captain, knows his job is to give it up.
12 saves for Princeton goalie Fiorito, and there's a lot of game left, and a lot of those have been good saves.
Eilers pushed by Fernandez. Impressed with Nick Fernandez for Princeton. Said his name a lot defensively, and he scored as well. Desco inside roll, bounced it off target. There was contact made. They're going to say Timmy stepped in the crease himself.
It's tough when you do that inside roll that close, and they're going to lean on you, and it might not be a push, but it might be an illegal push. It might be enough to get you into that crease area, and of course, as soon as you're in there, that's a penalty, and the ball goes back. Syracuse is going to ride now, hope for another turnover. Turnovers have been the undoing so far of Princeton in the second half.
Syracuse ride has been aggressive and effective as Wiedmeyer now with it. Fiorito across midfield they go.
Still not in.
Strabo.
Now they're in.
Steps into the box. A diminutive one on the far side of the field.
Well, they want to make sure they got Schreiber covered. They get a pick out. Nope.
In the middle, Strabo, jump shot, score! They lost track of Jack Strabo, sophomore from Arlington, Virginia. Only his third goal of the season, a big one, puts Princeton back up by 2.
Well, Strabo gets open by just doing a little jump shot. He got over Harris.
Well, they list him at 5'9", not sure he's that, but good shooter.
Yeah, he got a nice shot there. So Strabo on the pass from McDonald gives them a 2-goal lead.
So the Tigers have answered 2 straight by Syracuse with back-to-back goals to go back up by 2.
Another face-off for Syracuse. Now you don't want to waste this shot. You don't want to waste this shot. You've got DiAgostino in there.
Oh, the shot in front.
Oh!
And it was Chris Daddio breaking in front.
You know,
your big goal scorer.
Just going to say, you're talking about him not ball watching or not losing people. They lost Daddio. He should have just kept coming across. He wanted to quick stick it. He had more time than he thought. Easy for me to say,
yeah,
but
right.
That's not. But that's, you know, when you saw it, he had an opening to the right of the goalie, but
Daddio's first shot of the season. You can't blame him for being a little excited about it, right in front of maybe the best goaltender in the country, and he missed the mark.
You see, it was an unsettled situation, and that's where you want to get this defense, because now when they're settled, they make very few mistakes.
Joe Marasco forced to give it up. Hakeem Lecky up top, very quiet this afternoon. Sets a pick for Eilers, shoots on the run, and he missed by a couple of feet. Bobby showed the ability to shoot on the run last year. His marksmanship has been not quite as strong this year. Balasek can't lose his man.
This defense, I said, played very, very well, and they have continued to play well today.
Maltz spins in right into the stick of Tyler Fiorito. But they turn it right back over. Hakeem Leckie picks it up for Syracuse. And Princeton really keeping the Orange in it.
Now you got to take advantage of these when they're giving you the ball like this.
Marasco looking for a pick. Got his shot, but his stick was deflected upon release by Strabo again, playing defensive midfield. Syracuse has it back. Just over 2 minutes to go, third quarter. They score the first goal of the period to pull even. Princeton scored the last two.
You hear them saying inside roll. They know what these players do. They look at them on tape and say, this is what this guy likes to do. He likes to do this, and you can hear Fiorito telling them.
Well, and I think probably as Eilers unleashes and scores, Bobby Eilers going top shelf. Syracuse is back within one on Eilers' first of the game.
Boy, they needed that one. Leckie gets the ball. Eilers just goes high, stick side. Able to get those big hands free. He's a big guy. See him right there, does that jump and gives himself a little bit more. Now, left-handed goalie, he brings it offside high. And Eilers puts in the sixth
of the year, but his first since Providence. He scored goals in 4 straight games and had not scored a goal in the last 3. So it pulls the Orange back within 1 with under 2 to go, and a face-off win for Daddio. Orange try and push, but nothing there, so they back it out. And I was starting to say, you talk about watching tape and film on players. Cornell's next, and I know the Big Red played earlier this afternoon. I'm pretty sure Ben DeLuca's checking us out right now. Time Warner Cable Sports. Hello, Coach.
Hi, Coach. Yeah, we see him. We miss you. He's usually here.
Yeah, he's usually here. And we'll see him on Tuesday night down there at Sholkoff Field.
Very personable guy.
Yeah, great guy, and boy, what a job he's done with that team without Rob Pennell.
Yeah.
They have not missed a beat. They've won 5 straight heading into today's game with Harvard.
Pennell, arguably the best player in the country in his position. I mean, you know, and probably in general.
Broken bone in his foot, still recovering, and Palasek ties it up for the second time. Tommy Palasek, 7-7, just under a minute to go. He's got a hat trick.
That's his third. Watch him. He's just coming straight across the formation on a circle, and then he's got him a little bit. He's got Fiorito a little bit screened. He holds the stick. Watch where the stick is for the last second, and then he goes and he takes it again offside on a bounce shot. You know, nobody takes bounce shots anymore. They're very effective. That one was just in front of the goal and hopped right over the stick, as he couldn't bring that left-handed goalie couldn't bring the stick over fast enough, and Syracuse has tied this game up.
12 goals in his last 5 games now after getting shut out against St. John's. Schoonmaker gets the face-off, and the Orange a chance to take the lead at the end of the quarter. So Palasek scored in the final minute of the second quarter, and now another goal in the final minute of the third, and we're tied at 7. Barber gets a step. Gives it out top to Harris. Barber changes hands and scores! Right between the legs. Ryan Barber. Syracuse has its first lead.
West Genesee. Barber, a nice move. Something that I thought Fiorito might be able to gobble up because he sees him, but it was right down between his legs. You're absolutely right. But he saw Barber the whole way. Just a question of that bounce, placing it perfectly. Another bounce shot.
That quarter can't come soon enough for the Princeton Tigers, who've seen the Orange score 3 times in the final 2 minutes.
3 goals in 1 minute and 21 seconds.
to be exact.
Yep, and another face-off for Syracuse.
Another win. And boy, everything going the Orange way. Here's Kevin Drew. 15 seconds. Drew on the run, scores! The onslaught continues. And still 13 seconds left in the quarter.
I think they got Fiorito thinking now, because the last 2 goals have been one-on-ones that you think he early might have stopped. His confidence might be down a little bit. Watch Drew. Sees him the whole way. What's he going to do? Puts it down offside, and he goes down a little bit to that post. Ball went far post, and like that, just like that, Syracuse has got a 2-goal lead.
4 goals in the final 2 minutes for Syracuse. 13 seconds left in the quarter. That has turned out to be disastrous for Princeton. Tigers had a 2-goal lead earlier in this period. Another face-off win, and the quarter comes to an end. And the Orange faithful rising, applauding the effort. Syracuse scored 4 goals in the entire first half. They scored 5 times in the third quarter and 4 in the final 2 minutes. And they'll take a 2-goal lead to the 4th. Must win for Syracuse, and they're playing like it. Today's game break brought to you by the Nice and Easy Grocery Shops. A couple of basketball stars down on the sideline between quarters. Rakeem Christmas, Baikita, throwing t-shirts to the crowd. A couple of guys about 7 feet tall. Not hard for them to get it up into the stands there as Syracuse putting together its best 2 minutes of lacrosse all season long in front of 4,629. All rising at the end of the third quarter. Syracuse scoring 4 goals in the final 2 minutes of the third to take their first lead and a 2-goal lead. And a big save by Fiorito. Rebound still up for grabs. Tyler out of the crease to collect.
Good ride.
And now Palasek all over it.
That's it.
That was a huge save for the All-American Fiorito as Drew broke in. And Kevin, one of those who scored in the final 2 minutes. Fioretto looked to be on his heels. And boy, that quarter couldn't have come soon enough for he and the Tigers.
14th save. They still got time. They're pushing that 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's got to be. Got to be. 5 yards short. Schreiber was unaware.
By the way, one of those stats that popped up, if you didn't see it, caused turnovers. 11 for Syracuse, 1 for Princeton. In other words, Syracuse has knocked the ball down and caused 11 turnovers to 1 for Princeton. That's tough defense.
Well, I said it's a must-win, and the Orange are playing like it. You talk about, avoiding a third straight loss, falling under 500, losing another home game.
Oh, they got an extra man in there. They lost him on a. I'm sorry. Princeton didn't get a guy out, and Syracuse had an extra man in there for a second. They couldn't take advantage of it.
You talk about losing to Villanova last time they were on this field. A game that had to shock the Orange. Their first ever Big East loss. Outside the post. Schoonmaker very nearly had one, went into the side of the netting. And now Nick Fernandez with the clear for Princeton. But suddenly, where did that come from, Dale? The Orange were trailing 7-5. Bobby Eiler's a pretty innocent enough shot. And the Orange got it back. Tommy Palasek with 52 seconds left, tied it at 7. And then Ryan Barber on the run went between Fioretto's legs with 24 seconds left. 8-7. And then off the faceoff, Kevin Drew raced downfield. And yet another goal with 13 ticks remaining in the third.
Let's see who's got Schreiber now. They got McGill out there. Boy, you want to keep your eye on 22, I'll tell you right now. Don't lose him.
Talk about teams needing a goal. Princeton could really use one here. Shanley feeds in front. Great fake in the score. Nothing Wardwell could do as Fraccaro had no defender on him. And the Tigers are back within a goal at 9-8.
Good ball movement. Get the defense moving, get the goalie moving. Goes across, and then he makes Wardwell step out, lose his line, and then gives himself a better angle and a better shot. Look when he comes out. Right there, you can see how much of the goal was open as Wardwell stepped out off his line, and Fraccaro took advantage of it. His second goal tonight.
Huge goal for Princeton, stopping that Orange momentum.
4 shots in the second half, 3 goals for Princeton.
Very efficient. Couple of swipes at it by D'Agostino. Can't get the ground ball. And now the Tigers have it. John Cunningham scoops it. And now Princeton a chance to tie this one back up. And the buzz that was in this building just moments ago is quieted considerably. McGill lost his stick. Trying to check it free. Scrambles back into position as Shanley tries to back in, and his shot wildly left of the cage. Look at Wardwell. Dive. Give it to him. Oh, come on. He not only dove, he was about 3 feet in the air.
And watch this. Whoa! Oh my! Might have been outside when the ball went over. You got to be inbounds and closest to it when it goes out of bounds. But you're right. Give him some style points. Really moving the ball now. Princeton's got to get this defense moving. They got a shot.
Schreiber spins. D'Agostino stayed with him, and Schreiber throws it away.
Good job, D'Agostino, getting on his hands.
Cause turnover?
Cause turnover.
Number 12. And the freshman D'Agostino does the job. So Syracuse still with a 1-goal lead, 11:20 left. It's a funny game. You score 4 goals in the entire first half, Dale, and then 4 in the final 2 minutes of the third quarter.
We're talking about the
Syracuse
spurts.
lacrosse.
Yep.
Princeton gets one back, but now the Orange a chance to restore a little cushion. Or at least take some time off that clock.
Well, it's a little early to do that. I think they got to keep pushing it, but when they can, they got to be patient. Don't take a bad shot and give Princeton the ball easily. but, they've got a little bit of room here on. They've gotten some offensive going. Fiorito, maybe not as confident as he was in the beginning of the game. See if they can take advantage of that.
Here's Desko. Quiet afternoon for Timmy Desko. Jonathan Myers doing a great job there. Got Kevin Rice on the field for the first time tonight. Rice, the freshman from nearby Skinny Atlas. Great speed. Feeds in front. Cometti missed the pass, and Fernandez with the ground ball. Barber downfield, stays with him. Kevin Rice, a prolific scorer for Skinny Atlas and a big feeder. Tried to find Cometti in front. Luke swung the stick maybe a hair too early and didn't get the ball first.
Mullins had started earlier on defense, and haven't seen him close D. Got Hamlin and Harris and McGill in, and then Fazio has the long stick. Of course, you got to give him a rest sometime.
Joe Moore, defensive midfielder. They give it up. Open shot. It's off target, backed up by McDonald. Himmler almost upended by Harris. Gives it up to Sonnenfeld outside.
Back to that little zone. Back to that little zone that they used before.
Sonnenfeld, big rocket shot, the score. Forrest Sonnenfeld, 6'6", 250, ties it up with just under 9 minutes left.
Syracuse gone to the zone, and he gets a hole in the zone right there. See the slide? They slid before. Midfielder slid over. That was Joe Moore. And watch the space it gives right there as the second slide can't get there in time. And that 6'6", 250-pounder, let's go with a tough shot, and it's 9-9.
I know Bobby Wardwell is feeling like he should have had that. Did have a good look at it. Sonnenfeld can get some velocity on it, though, with that height and weight. We're going to call a violation on Buer. So Princeton gets it, and a little bit of a jump.
See how the ebb and flow goes. Now Princeton in the fourth quarter seems to have picked up a bit of momentum.
They've scored the last two, and the only two of the quarter to tie it at 9.
Causes a matchup problems when you're 6'6", 250.
Yeah, no matter what sport you're playing.
Yeah, I don't care where you are there.
I'd say that's pretty good size.
Yeah, you look at him now. I hadn't looked at him before. He's kind of dwarfs everybody out there. Syracuse in the zone.
Third tie of the game. Princeton has led by as many as 3. They scored the opening 3 goals of the game. Orange came back to lead by 2.
Turnover.
Another turnover here, perhaps. No, McDonald gets over.
That was a great save by him. I thought that was destined for a turnover.
On the turf at Coinfield, it would have been.
Yeah.
The old AstroTurf.
Yep.
This field turf will slow it down just a bit.
You see what they're trying to do against the zone. A lot of ball movement. You've really got to move that ball quickly. Got to get him inside.
Feed it inside. Wardwell made the save. Where is it? Scooped up into the air and right into the stick of Brandon Mullins. Freshman to freshman. So Bobby went low to make the save and keeps it a 9-9 game. That's a big save you need. Now the Orange trying to cash it in.
By the way, saves 14 of 23 shots on goal saved by Princeton. And Syracuse 7 of 16 shots on goal. So pretty even there actually in terms of percentage. Obviously a little bit better for Princeton. Wardwell, you take away his jitter goals there early. I think he's doing pretty well today. I think he would tell you if you talk to him how fast this game goes. I mean, I know he plays against great guys in practice, but you know, when you're against a different team and different looks and different formations, it's a fast game.
So we're tied at 9, under 7 to go.
Lecky's got a good shot on the move.
Pops it behind Desko. Desko spins left and shot it wide right. 6:28 left. 52 career goals for Timmy Desko.
Media timeout.
4 hat tricks, just 1 in 2012. And Tim, part of that 2008 recruiting class that came in and won 2 national championships right out of the gate. Last remaining holdover, can they get back to the Final Four? This game could determine a lot. Well, Orange are not on the first page of the latest coaches poll. In fact, they're barely in it at all. Virginia, UMass, Hopkins, top 3, Cornell holding steady at number 5, and Notre Dame, the top-rated Big East team. Take a look at the second page, and you'll see the Orange down there tied for 17th with Colgate. It's the lowest the Orange have been ranked since 2007, when they had a losing record of 5-8, of course. If you look at Bryant, a pretty new Division I program in the top 20 is Mike Kressler, the former Duke coach, has that program going. And there's another Big East team there, Villanova, at number 13. 46-29, giving up 55 degrees and sunny to come indoors this afternoon and try and help the Orange again to a victory here in their second to last home game of the season. Georgetown, 20th ranked in this week's poll, is in here on the 21st. And the Orange will have to play in the Big East tournament on the road as well down at Villanova. They could have to play Villanova and beat them, and then perhaps beat Notre Dame in the Big East tournament final to get back to the NCAA. Low shot saved by Fiorito. And Lecky in there looking for the loose ball. Hakeem, pretty good shot, but Fiorito's been on that ball.
And just checking those numbers, we got Fiorito about 61% of the shots on goal, which is obviously excellent. Wardwell at 44, but after those first 4 goals, I would say that he's done a pretty credible job.
Tigers looking for the lead back here in the 4th. 5.5 to go. Princeton scored the only goals of the quarter after Syracuse erupted in the final 2 minutes of the 3rd, scoring 4 times to go up 9-7. There's Tommy Schreiber behind the cage. Alex Capre in front, and Wardwell made the save. Fraccaro broke in front. Wardwell saw him coming, and now Lecky loses it out of his stick. Ball up for grabs in the Syracuse half, picked up by Harris, and I believe he's tied his career high.
No, there's a push with the ball. That'll be 30.
And our first penalty flag here in the second half, I do believe. And the Orange will go a man up with just under 5 minutes left.
Oh, he's going to give him a trip. That's 1 minute.
26 black, 1 minute trip.
So Mike McDonald into the penalty box after Harris scooped the ground ball. And that Princeton man-down defense that's only given up 4 EMO goals all year, 5th in the nation. A man down will be put to the test. The Orange 0 for 2 on the EMO so far this afternoon.
Some question about the officials are looking around like everybody's got a ball, right? Oh, no, they're getting one at the end zone. There we go, because you need that thing to play with.
Yeah.
You could try it without it, but it would be very frustrating. Syracuse got a man up. They've got to do something with this. As I said, you got to get Fiorito when he's weak.
A man-up unit that has struggled all year now with a chance to take the lead. Oh, Rasco save
Nice
made
save.
Fiorito. A quick shot by JoJo. And Tyler Fiorito was ready for it. The All-American comes up with another big save. Now John Cunningham in trouble. Triple team, lost the ball again. Picks it up, ran into his own man. Scooped up by the Orange. Feed down low to score! What a feed from Desko to Palasek. And with 4:11 left, the Orange are back in front. Oh my goodness, Syracuse lacrosse, vintage. Looked a little bit like the end of the 2009 championship.
Yeah, it did.
Kenny Mims. All we were missing was the dive.
Desko split 2 guys. He split 2 defenders with that pass to hit Palasek, and Palasek had a step on both the defenders, and he just turned and fired before Fiorito could move, and he pinned Fiorito. Well, what a perfect pass to Palasek by number 21. Tim Desko split 2 defenders with that pass.
4 goals for the second straight game for Palasek. And what a job he did, just in one motion, catching, spinning, and shooting before the Princeton defense could collapse. An extra man goal for the Orange, and a 1-goal lead with 4:02 as Princeton wins a big face-off there to get possession back.
That was a great example of how to beat Fiorito. You get him when he's at his weakest, and you had a situation there. Didn't look like he was that weak. He had 2 guys there to help him, but a perfect pass by Desko just split him, and then one-on-one with number 14, Palasek, and Palasek ripped it before Fiorito could make a move.
Syracuse only the 2nd team this season to score in double figures against the Tigers. They gave up 10 goals to Hopkins and lost 10-8. And the Orange doing most of the damage here in the second half. 6 of their 10 goals coming after halftime. Got a 1-goal lead with 4 minutes left. Let's take a look at our save of the game. Brought to you by your local UPS stores with 12 locations throughout Central New York. Your local UPS store is your one stop for all your packaging and shipping needs. Take a look in front. It was Bobby Wardwell, the freshman from Syracuse, in his very first Orange appearance. A shaky start, but a big finish for the Shenandoah High School product out of the Albany area. In position for the win here against the Princeton Tigers in his Orange debut, and got to imagine, Dale, he has earned the right to return in goal Tuesday night in Ithaca.
I tell you what, his reflexes are good. He's really, I think, when he gets the jitters out and gets some more experience, obviously he is going to be the goalie of the future. Will he be the goalie for the rest of this year? He certainly, as you said, earned an opportunity.
Well, you know, some out there might be saying, what took so long to see Bobby? He was slowed a bit by injury in preseason camp. Orange had Matt Lerman coming back as Schreiber having all sorts of problems. Gets it back. Now taken down by Hamlin, and that draws a flag. A couple of flags on the field. Oh, Coach Desko running his fingers through his hair, hands on his head.
Oh, this is an old-fashioned rap check. This is great. They used to do this all the time back in the day. Watch
I don't think Coach Desko thinks it's that great.
Watch this. Watch. This is good. Watch this rap. When he gets by you, just wrap him around, and that's going to call you. Yeah. There's a look at that kick in the head. Whoa.
Ain't that a kick in the head? Well,
ain't that a kick in the head? Well, the result is still 30 seconds of man up.
so again, the Orange man-down defense, 54% on the year.
Watch Schreiber.
Tigers 0 for 1.
They got a lot of weapons, though.
Sonnenfeld
Yeah, he's the
has
guy that
4 of their 8 extra man goals this year. He's out top. 10 seconds left in the penalty. Jump shot,
Nice
save,
save.
Wardwell. Schreiber took the shot, Wardwell the save. And the Orange on the run, under 3 to go. Up a goal, and Kevin Drew's got it. And now the Orange will try and kill some clock.
He's played a good game also. Kevin Drew, good one-man clear there.
Boy, Wardwell has earned this one. Gave up 3 goals on 7 shots to start out. He has come back strong. At the Carrier Dome, Orange lacrosse, ball is loose. Mark Larson, Dale Drypolcher upstairs, and a timeout called by John Desko as Syracuse and the home whites battling their rivals from Princeton in a 10-9 Orange lead with 2:32 to go. John Desko calls time. He's got 1 remaining. Syracuse just needs to kill some clock, and boy, after losing your last 2 games by 3 goals total, another nail biter for Coach Desko, but his team has really come on strong here, and it all started at the end of that 3rd quarter.
It did. It's Steve Scarmazzino there, the guy with the hat on, long stick midfielder, just very calm, helping out Coach Desko, talking to the guys. They've got 2 minutes and 32 seconds and a 1-goal lead and the ball. Now, this is where you want to take some time off the clock.
And the Orange have been very good about not turning the ball over this afternoon, where Princeton has hurt themselves greatly with a flurry of giveaways, many of them caused by the Orange.
Well, yeah, I think we got 13 or 14 unofficially, and Syracuse has been great in that department. Now, keep in mind, 32 seconds, they can pass the ball around, but then they can go outside the box. But in the last 2 minutes, as soon as it gets down to 2, they got to keep the ball in the box or they're going to lose it.
Orange looking for their first win over a top 20 team this season, and that is a shocker in itself, considering we're talking about this being game 9 and the schedule Syracuse plays every year. They're 0-4 against ranked teams. You mentioned Coach Desko's history against Princeton in his first season back in 1999. What is the longest game in Syracuse history? Princeton came in and won in 4 overtimes. But Desko got his revenge the next season, beating the Tigers for his first national championship. Also mentioned earlier, we'll be in Ithaca Tuesday night as the Orange and the Big Red get together. Annual meeting, always fun, always exciting. 7 o'clock face-off in Ithaca, live right here on Time Warner Cable Sports. Back underway, under 2.5 to go. JoJo Marasco takes a look. It's John Cunningham on his back. Gives it up to Desko behind.
You got to know what the clock is at.
And look at all the Jenny kids back on the field to help kill it. 4 of the 6 graduates from West Genesee High School just down the road in Camillus. This is one of them, Ryan Barber.
That's it. They can't leave the box. Last 2 minutes, they must stay within that box.
Barber being watched by Fernandez. And now Fiorito coming out of the cage. And they're going to double the ball. Barber tries to spin out of it.
Another
Timeout called John
Smart.
Desko. That's his last with 1:40 left. Just in time as Barber coughed it up just after the whistle.
Yes, he did. And they're doubling the ball and they're shutting off the adjacent man. They want to force as long a pass as possible. And you've got to counter that. And John Desko's going to talk to his guys.
Well, interesting.
Pretty calm.
Yeah.
See right here he's getting guarded. Now, watch him come over. They're going to double him. And then they take away Donahue, the adjacent guy. They've guarded him with the goalie. So just like that, you lose the ball, but the timeout was in.
Interesting to read, between 92 and 2003, 12 years in a row, Princeton either won the national championship or lost in the NCAA tournament to Syracuse. You talk about the history between these two teams. It really is only in the last 20 years or so. It seems like every year almost they meet in the NCAA tournament. If not the championship game, they've battled 4 times in the final, with each team winning twice. And of course, all that before Chris Bates arrived on campus, took over for Bill Tierney, who has made the Denver Pioneers into a national power. Coach Desko and Bill Tierney, good friends, except when they have to face each other. But boy, have they gone to battle against each other quite often in key situations. And you know, the Orange in the second half, Dale, have been outscored this season 43-34. They really have not been a very good closing team. This would be a big boost to their confidence. They're able to come back, you know, after Princeton tied it up in the 4th, to nail this one down. Huge.
Well, now, who's handling the ball? It's going to be Drew. Now, he's still got time to get it in the box. He's got 10 seconds to get it in the box.
He's got the wheels to do it. Just outruns his opponent. Poor Chad Wiedmeyer couldn't keep up. And now Fiorito out of the cage again as Marasco faked the shot. Whoa, almost lost the ball. Wiedmeyer falls down again.
You're hoping for a penalty here is what you're hoping for.
1:15 to go. JoJo in trouble. Swims out of it. Still has the ball. Finally gets rid of it. Palasek's turn. Dodges Fiorito. Net is empty. Orange can't get it in front, and Tyler's got it. Just over a minute to go. The Tigers off the turnover. Orange had the net empty and couldn't get it in front.
Timeout.
And now Chris Bates calls his final timeout with 53 seconds left in regulation.
Mullins is in on defense for Syracuse, number 20. The football player from Texas, who will now be known as the lacrosse player from Syracuse.
That's right. You wonder when he goes back to Texas, he hears about that at all. Although, you know, the sport is also growing down there.
Oh, sure.
So Chris Bates, 0-2 against Syracuse. 21 wins in his 3rd year at Princeton, including the last 4 straight. But again, they've got 2 losses by 3 total goals this year. And so they've been in these situations before. See if they can pull it out. It's out-of-town scores. Notre Dame still atop the Big East, 9-1. St. John's.
Wow.
An upset on Georgetown, although, you know what, the Red Storm no slouch. They almost got the Orange earlier this year. Villanova, 5-goal win at Rutgers. Elsewhere, North Carolina, Virginia, powerhouse ACC matchup, and the future league opponents for the Orange.
Colgate beat Lehigh. Lehigh was on a roll.
Big win for Colgate. I believe it's the 9th of the year for the Raiders under their new head coach, Mike Murphy. And Cornell winning over Harvard at home again. Big Red without Rob Pennell have won 6 in a row now, and they are unbeaten atop the Ivy League. Again, Tuesday night, Syracuse, Cornell down in Ithaca.
Check the defense. You got Mullins, you got McGill, you got Hamlin.
And Harris.
And you've got McGill again. He's only there once.
Kevin Drew as well.
Yes.
All right, 53 seconds for the Orange to hang on.
They're trying to shut off Schreiber with McGill.
And this is Sonnenfeld with Kevin Drew. Size mismatch, no matter how you do it.
Slide.
Now back to Schreiber. He's their All-American. Gets a big pick from the big kid. Not able to get the shot off as Hamlin came over to help. Now Hamlin on Schreiber. Lost him. Schreiber has a step. Feeds it out of bounds.
Syracuse ball.
17 seconds left. Yet another turnover for Princeton. Gives it back to the Orange. And a chance to seal it as JoJo calls for it.
Yeah. You want a short stick with the ball. Let him run it out.
Not even to get a shot off for Princeton.
Well, you want to. Boy, it's tough not having anybody in the goal. They got the goalie out as part of the clear.
He's got Hamlin on the far side of the field with nobody there.
When in doubt, you just get rid of it. Just cheap it all the way down the field.
10 seconds left. JoJo on the run. Orozco takes a shot. Flag flies. Orozco pulls his way across midfield. Ball comes loose.
That's another flag.
JoJo on the ground with Jack Strabo with 2 seconds left on the clock. That will virtually do it as Chris Bates gets in the official's face, and he draws a flag. One minute unsportsmanlike.
Non-releasable for what that's worth.
Not that it matters. 2 seconds left. John Desko quieting his sideline. What a finish. And Princeton did not even get a shot off on their final possession. Give the Orange defense some credit.
They did a nice job, too, of switching. They used that big guy out there, Sonnenfeld, as some bait, and then he did a nice job of picking, but they stayed with it and didn't get picked off. Pass across the middle, out of bounds, and Syracuse cleared it.
And they'll put in Ryan Barber's stick, and the first losing streak for Syracuse since 2007 is over. A dramatic 10-9 victory over ancient rival Princeton. 8th win in 10 games in the series, and a much-needed win for Syracuse as they go back over 500 for the season, heading into another tough one Tuesday night at Cornell. The game-winning goal coming on a vintage Syracuse play with 4 minutes, 11 seconds left. An unsettled situation. Timmy Desko finding Tommy Palasek, who spun and fired in one motion past Tyler Fiorito, and the Orange escape. A 10-9 victory. And they're back in the thick of it, Dale. I mean, you beat a team like Princeton, and that goaltender.
And he went through a period there where he looked like he lost a little bit of his confidence. Syracuse taking a lot of shots and scoring goals that I thought that he had a look at. But, you know, those are going to happen. But the thing that I was really impressed with was the caused turnovers. You know, yes, Princeton threw the ball away. You can see the last one they threw away. But the caused turnovers, Syracuse was all over. The ride, midfield defense, the long sticks, everyone did a great job of getting that ball on the ground and then coming up with the ground balls.
And the coming out party for the freshman Bobby Wardwell, who makes his first Syracuse appearance, one to remember. Gives up 3 goals out of the gates and then comes back strong and helps the Orange finish off the Tigers. 10-9 the final. Our player of the game when we return.
Time Warner Cable Sports coverage of Syracuse University lacrosse is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By the Carbone Auto Group, a name you know and you know you can trust. By the UPS stores of Central New York. With 12 locations throughout Central New York, there's a UPS store near your neighborhood. And by Nice and Easy Grocery Shops.
Well, this was better than finding a chocolate egg. Syracuse with a big win, 10-9 over their ancient rivals from Princeton. Syracuse scoring 6 times in the second half to pull out the victory and stop the Tigers' 4-game win streak and notch their first win over a top 20 team this season. Take a look at our player of the game, brought to you by FX Caprera Chevrolet Buick in Pulaski. Visit fxchevy.com. And with a nod to freshman goaltender Bobby Wardwell, we're going to give it to Tommy Palasek. Ties his career high for the second straight game with 4 goals, 1 to tie in the final minute of the third quarter. And then in the fourth, off this situation, takes the pass, wheels and fires in one motion past the All-American goaltender. And that was the game winner with 4:11 to go. Tommy Palasek down on the field with us right now. Tommy, tell us about that last goal. That is vintage Syracuse lacrosse, and you guys got it done.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, it feels great to get up and down. It seems like Princeton likes to slow it down and try to limit our fast breaks, but we like to just take advantage of every single opportunity we get. And Timmy made a great pass. I just turned and fired it.
You also scored the big goal at the end of the first half with 7 seconds left. Going into the locker room, how big was that for you guys momentum-wise?
It's good. You know, we kind of came out a little flat. I think we played close to a full 60 minutes today, but a lot of our focus has been coming out of the locker room and having some momentum in the second half, and a big play right before the end of the half is always good for that.
Yeah, speaking about momentum, you guys caused a lot of turnovers. I think the final number was 12-2 of caused turnovers, giving yourself offensive opportunities. Was that kind of a point you guys were working with today? You know,
I mean, we got some great defenders on the close D end at our pole, and they're really great at one-on-one and taking the ball from guys. So Coach just said, go out there, you know, play aggressive and try and take the ball from these guys, and it'll work out. And as an offensive guy, there's nothing you want to hear any more than that, than, you know, cause some turnovers and get going down the field as quick as possible.
That's obviously a huge win for you guys. Can you talk about Bobby Wardwell, your new goaltender, how he played today, how he kind of recovered from a shaky start?
Yeah, I mean, obviously as a freshman, it's tough. You know, they play for such a great program like this and have everybody, you know, putting the pressure on you to come in here and get a win. I think he stepped up to the challenge. The kid's he's a gamer, and you know, like you said, he had a couple of shaky shots in the beginning, but he shook them off and played great the rest of the game.
Take a look at some of his work. I think after giving up those first 3 goals, you guys got a couple back that seemed to settle him down. In the second half, he seemed like a much more confident goaltender.
Yeah, of course. He's he's got great defense ahead of him. The guys, when he found out he was getting the start, guys have done nothing but tell him, you know, we got all the confidence in the world for you, and we're here. We're going to fight behind you. You know, stuff will get bad at times, but we're good enough to pick you back up.
All right, Tommy, congratulations. Enjoy it, and good luck Tuesday night. We'll see you in Ithaca.
Thanks a lot.
Tommy Palasek, been red hot now, 17 points in his last 4 games, Dale. As you take a look at the final stats, that shot total looks much more Syracuse-like.
It does, absolutely, and shots on goal, 26. Really did a nice job. Face-offs, which had been a problem, they're back to 50-50, and when the ball was gotten, it was knocked down a lot of times, but caused turnovers. So the face-offs, I think, in good hands. Man up, 1 out of 4. Okay, they're moving on that, but the caused turnovers, very impressed with that.
Had quite a spurt at the end of the third quarter to go up, and then coming back in the fourth. And head coach John Desko is now down on the field with us. Coach, another nail biter here. Your team ends up on the winning side this time. How big a win is this for your team?
Well, very big, especially after the last 2 losses. You know, we thought going into the Duke game, we played for 60 minutes, and just a tremendous effort from our players, and to come out short was very disappointing. I think we got a similar effort tonight and came out on top. So I think it does a lot for our confidence, and we don't have a lot of time to celebrate here because we've got to get ready for the Big Red on Tuesday night.
I know you're on the sideline, but that was a heck of a pass by number 21 to get the ball down on that unsettled situation. Great pass by your son.
Yeah, he had missed a couple shots during the game that I wish he had back. So I think it opened his eyes to look for some other players, and he had a very similar look that he had to Tommy in the Duke game. So they looked at one another, and fortunately it did. It was a big goal for us.
Now, you went with Bobby Wardwell today, and the opening minutes, I just wonder if at any time you were maybe thinking, maybe I shouldn't have done that. He really recovered well, but it was a shaky beginning.
Well, he was a highly recruited goalie out of high school, and, the other guys for us haven't been doing that bad, but he's been doing very well in practice. We've watched him. He's a big save goalie, and, we thought at this point in the season, if we're going to do it, we got to do it now with the remainder of games we got left, and he came up big for us. He really made some big saves, and I thought early on it was more, defensively. I was actually a little disappointed in how he matched up. We knew who they were, and we weren't out playing our guys as tough as we did. Jumped into a zone defense to slow them down, and we got caught up defensively, and we got more relaxed, and we understood what we were supposed to do.
All right, Coach, congratulations. We'll see you in Ithaca Tuesday night.
All right, thank you.
All right, head coach John Desko, win number 167 of his career, and like he said, a huge win for this team that had been giving a lot of effort but hadn't been seeing the results.
I really liked the hustle. I really thought that they had a lot of pep. There was a lot of energy, and I thought they really rallied around Wardwell, and I think that bodes well for the rest of the season.
Wardwell and bodes well.
Yeah.
Nicely done. All right, the Orange will get after it again Tuesday night. Quick turnaround as they head down to Ithaca to take on the Big Red of Cornell, who've won 6 in a row. Another Ivy League opponent awaits Tuesday, but the Orange can celebrate this one for now. Once again, the final, Syracuse 10 and Princeton 9 as the Orange come back to beat the Tigers. Our next Syracuse telecast from Ithaca, Sholkoff Field, as the Orange take on the Big Red. Tuesday, 7 o'clock face-off. You can see it right here on Time Warner Cable Sports. For live streaming and highlights of Time Warner Cable Sports games, go to our website at twcs.tv. Some great recaps there as well. And now for Dale Drypolcher and the entire crew here at the Carrier Dome, I'm Mark Larson saying so long and thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon. This has been a presentation of Time Warner Cable Sports.
Nice that he got up to 50% by the end of the game.
Yeah, yep. As I said,